7 million years of human history would be about to come to an end. It will not be because of man's wars or a meteorite about to crash. The end of the human race will be brought about by the gods, the very creators of everything. Zeus speaks, God of gods. Zeus says, "Attention, remain silent. I consider the council initiated." Gods from all over the world would gather on this day to debate the fate of the human race. So now I ask you, do we allow it to continue to exist for another 1,000 years, or do we end its existence? Gods, show your vows of decision. Shiva, the god of creation and destruction, speaks. I believe that we must end them. I have observed them for hundreds of years, but I have never seen signs that they learn their mistakes. We should annihilate them once and for all. Aphrodite would say, "He is right. Shiva is absolutely right," says the goddess of beauty Aphrodite. Aphrodite would continue, "The world has become uglier and uglier. The oceans are full of garbage and oil. The forests are disappearing. To be honest, humans have become a great plague, destroying life and planet Earth." All the gods and demigods present agreed with Aphrodite's opinion. Zeus speaks. The council seems to have reached a conclusion. The council decides that the fate of the human race is its complete annihilation. Brunhilde would say, "No, Zeus, please wait." Zeus stops before making the decision. A Valkyrie appears. Her name is Brunhilde, the eldest of the 13 Valkyries. Brunhilde says, "With all due respect, but there is one issue that I would like to talk about to the gods." Goal would say, "Sister, are you trying to do something?" Brunhilde steals all the attention of all the gods in the hall. A raven of the god Odin Hugin speaks. Hugin says, "Ungrateful, you're just a demigoddess." Munin speaks. "How dare you interrupt the gods when they speak?" Brunhilde replies, "The petty and tyrannical actions of the human race are unforgivable. However, to destroy them would be extremely boring. I propose something to decide whether the human race is worthy of remaining alive for the next 1,000 years, and at the same time demonstrate the piety and power of the gods. Why not put the human race to a test?" Eugen would say, "Approve. Do you want us to flood them again?" Nurnin would say, "He talks about starting the Ice Age and freezing them." Brunhilde would say, "None of that. Is a much better way to do it is here. I mean, God against man, the final battle Ragnarok. All the gods are impressed by the words." A Constitution of Valhalla would say, "The laws of God's final battle against man, in other words, Ragnarok." It is thus a series of 1v1 matches between 13 fighters representing the gods and the human race. The first team to win 7 matches wins. However, the moment humanity loses its 7th encounter, the gods will destroy them mercilessly. On the other hand, if humans win, then the gods will allow them to exist for 1,000 more years. However, this law has never been executed in the entire history of the human race. A reason is that it would be impossible for humans to win a battle against the gods. In other words, it is an extrajudicial clause, a provision that was enacted solely to entertain the gods. Everyone begins to mock the Valkyrie. Hugin says, "Humans are no match for the gods." Brunhilde says, "I understand it means that the gods themselves want to evade a direct confrontation against humans. That also means, and only maybe, they are afraid of losing." All the gods in the hall began to get angry, except for Zeus, who says, "Ha ha ha, I'm glad you're mentioning it would be fun. The wrath of the gods and overwhelming power. Listen, oh my mighty gods, let us have a battle between us, the gods, and the human race. The decision is made. The cries of the gods and the demigods were heard throughout the communal." And that was how Ragnarok would begin. Zeus continues, "Valkyrie, listen to me. You will be the one who chooses the representatives of the human race. I see that you want to help men. How tragic." Brunhilde says, "I will select the 13 strongest humans who have existed in the hundreds of millions of years of human history." Everyone withdraws. The arena of Ragnarok would already be made. Humans and gods filled the stadium with great ease. The biggest fights in history would be about to begin. The referee says, "The rules are simple. The death of the human race, or the gods in other worlds. The battle will be decided when one of the two dies. The first round first by the gods. There's this man. All the gods long to see this god fight. He lives and dies to fight. The strongest of the Norse gods, the god Thor." Goal, the sister at the Valkyrie who started this, will be very worried. Goal would say, "Sister, there's no way we can win." Brunhilde would say, "Calm down." Little Goal, "I'm sure he will be able to. I don't know why, when I look at him he inspires confidence in me, and decides he promised me to win this fight." The referee would say, here comes the man who will represent the humans this time. The man who will represent these scumbags, here he is. It's Son Goku. Aphrodite would say, but how beautiful is that young man? He turns me on. Goku would say, hello, my name is Goku. I hope to have a good battle. Thor would say, confident human, you have a lot of guts to stand in front of me. Goku would say, haha, you won't regret it. Just let me tell you to fight seriously. Otherwise it would be boring. Thor would reply, do you make fun of me? Goku would say, not at all. Just do not disappoint me. The signal to begin sounds. Why forget? Humans are gods. The fight begins. Thor attacks Goku as soon as the battle begins. He stops his blow with his arm. Goku says, wow, you're strong. Thor would say, you endured one of my blows. Goku would say, that's right. I told you to give it all, or this will end quickly. Goku punches the god in the face, making him back off. Gods and humans will praise you within 10 seconds of battle. The Valkyrie is also surprised. Goa would say, sister, where did you get that man? Brunhilde would begin to tell how Goku came to Ragnarok. Brunhilde would reply, I was missing the last man from the Ragnarok. When I went to look for the man who is said to be the strongest man, the most dangerous and fierce among men, that man called himself Lubu. But when I approached him, he was fighting with someone else. It is said that Lubu finishes all his battles with a single blow. But this time someone played against him. Lubu, the most fearsome man, was defeated by a single blow. Sorry, it was not my intention. I let myself be carried away by the emotion, apparently. Mr. Whis lied to me. There are no strong people here. Brunhilde would say, and who are you? Goku would reply, haha, I'm Goku. Who asks? Brunhilde would say, I'm Brunhilde, the eldest of the 13 Valkyries. Goku would reply, Valkyrie? What's that? Brunhilde would say, tell me, are you interested in fighting? Goku would say, that's right. I came to find powerful warriors, but I can't find anyone. Brunhilde would say, you believe that the man you just defeated is not powerful? Goku would say, I didn't mean it in a bad way, it's just not what I was looking for. Brunhilde would say, tell me, human, would you like to participate in Ragnarok? And Goku would reply, what is Ragnarok? Brunhilde explains, Ragnarok is a 13 versus 13 match. This time we will pick the most powerful gods of this world against 13 are the most outstanding humans in battle. I really lack a few more warriors, and I see that you are strong. Would you like to participate? Goku would say, if they're not lying to me and they really are strong people, I accept with pleasure. And tell me what are the consequences? The gods want to destroy them or something? Brunhilde is surprised and said, why do you know that, human? Goku would say, haha, so are all the gods? So, it was with Mr. Beerus. Brunhilde would ask, who was Beerus? Goku would say, forget it. Brunhilde would ask, human, have you faced gods? Goku would say, we could say that's something like that. And Brunhilde replied, okay, I'll tell you, listen carefully, if humans lose 7 battles, it will be destroyed by the gods. But if they win, the gods will let them exist 1,000 more years. The existence of human life is at risk. Goku, okay, I will participate. Sounds interesting. Brunhilde, that's how Son Goku got here. And to test his power, I chose him to have a fight first. The referee would say, wow, but what do we see here? The human has made Thor back off. Nor does it seem the human will be the first human to fight this powerful god. Goku would say, wow, sister, look, it's very strong. Goku would say, come on, Thor, I know you're hiding something. Attack me with everything. Goku and Thor have a fight. Goku attacks with his fists, but Thor defends himself using his hammer. Zeus says, I'm starting to suspect that human, in the first place, there is no human who can give a fight to a god, especially Thor. And this human has him cornered. And in second, this human is not using any weapon, and still fights that way using martial arts. I wonder where the hell did you get that warrior? Thor speaks. You don't really look human, you have a lot of strength, but if you want me to fight seriously, I will. Thor takes off the glove that he carries in his hand. Gloves that, to bump to the ground, raises a lot of dust, making a small hole of how heavy it is. Thor's hammer begins to mutate and takes on a disgusted shake. Goku says, come on. I wait for you. Thor raises his hammer, throwing it at Goku with all his might. He hits Goku by sending him to fly away, hitting the wall. Thor says, so far you came, human. Brunhilde was worried. Gull says, sister, I killed him with a single blow. The referee says, Thor has shown his might and smashed that human to smithereens. Goku was being covered by a curtain of dust. Referee says, it looks like we already have a winner. Goku says, oh, what pain. I didn't expect it. The referee says, what? The human Son Goku is still alive. and seeing that he's unaffected by the attack of the god Thor himself. Everyone is very impressed. Gull says, "How is he still alive after that?" Brunhilde says, "I don't know, that guy is weird." Goku says, "What do you mean? It didn't affect me. It hit me in the head and it hurt. Look, nothing else, you're really strong, it's fine. I'm going to show you a little of my strength, since it would be very bad of me not to show you my power while you do it." Thor would say, "What are you saying, human? How come you're still alive?" Goku made the whole combat arena tremble, transforming. The referee says, "Whoa, but what's that? Is it really human? His hair changed to yellow." Everyone would be very impressed and stunned by Goku's sudden transformation. Brunhilde was a little worried. Zeus was impressed and confused. Zeus would say, "This guy doesn't look human. No human has achieved anything like that. But now it doesn't matter. Let's see what happens." Thor says, "I see you can transform. Tell me, are you a god?" Goku says, "No, I'm just a Saiyan raised on the earth of my world. I'm just looking for strong people to fight with." Thor says, "Your name is Goku, right?" Goku says, "That's Thor. How did you get here?" Goku says, "That will sound somewhat confusing, but where I come, and there are also very powerful gods. Even I have a teacher who takes care of a god. He sent me here for training to face powerful people. But I don't think I should have told you that, if they wouldn't not let me keep fighting." Thor said, "Quiet. I will not say anything. I've never had a fight as exciting as this. Goku, fight." Goku raises his ki. Thor has always been a god of fear. No one had ever put up with him so much in a fight, let alone endure the most powerful attack he has with his hammer. Thor always defeated his enemies with a single blow. As a result, all the fights became boring to him. But this time with Son Goku, Thor felt excited, as he could give it all, as he knew that such a combat would be fun. Goku launches to attack Thor, and Thor again tries to throw his hammer. Goku, in his transformation of Super Saiyan with a single punch, shatters Thor's hammer. All the gods are impressed. All the gods and demigods in Ragnarok Colosseum begin to scream. The gods say, "This is unheard of. There is no human who could do that." They are sure that this subject is not a god. The human answers, "Fearful gods, now fear a human just because he is stronger than you." Goku, after destroying Thor's hammer, is kicking Thor in the abdomen, leaving him out of combat. Goku, really are strong, but I'll keep here to see what happens." Goku returns to his base state. "Referee, you will not be able to fight anymore." "What?" Suddenly Thor gets up and calls Goku and smiles. After that, Thor faints. Humans start screaming, "We won!" The referee says, "Son Goku is the winner of the first fight." Gaul says, "Victory is ours." Brunhilde says, "That's right, he won the first match. We have the advantage." Zeus would begin to suspect more of Goku. Goku would say, "You didn't lie to me, that guy is strong. But I could feel the presence of someone much stronger inside this Colosseum." Brunhilde says, "Who are you? Why do you have so much power?" "Ha ha ha," says Goku. "I'm a Saiyan who came to have a little fun. I kept my promise to win the first match. Now who will I fight?" Goku would ask who would be the next fight. The Valkyrie would reply. Brunhilde would say, "I don't know. If you want, I could do it again." Gaul would say, "Aren't you hurt?" Goku would say, "The truth is, I'm already as good as new, and these gods are not very powerful like the gods of my world." Gaul would say, "Of your world? Tell me a little more about you, Goku." "Nah, it'll be on another occasion, by the way. Do you have anything to eat? I'm really hungry." Brunhilde would say, "Okay, I'll feed you just because you won this match. And I also can't get you to participate again as it's forbidden in Ragnarok." Goku would say, "Well, it doesn't matter. At least I'll eat." While Goku raised all the food, the gods spoke. Zeus said, "It is more than evident that this mortal is not a human, nor could he say that he is a god." Aphrodite would say, "We have to ask Thor to know more about this." Zeus would say, "It would be the best. We have lost the first meeting. But there's no need to worry, just as careful with the supposed human, Son Goku." Brunhilde would say, "Well then, let's choose this man for the second round." Goku would say, "How rich? I ate. Thanks a lot. I see that's the second fighter." Brunhilde would say, "Goku, that's right. That's number one." Goku would say, "Number one? What does that mean?" Brunhilde would say, "He's the first human to touch this world." Goku, impressed, would say, "The first? Wah! This world is something crazy." Everyone in Ragnarok would be crazy about the second matchup. All the gods had a bitter taste in their mouths from the first encounter. The referee would say, "Are you ready? Let the second round begin. This warrior carries the hope of humanity. Here is the subject who will face another god. A human appears with a large entrance to the arena. The referee would say, "The day has come when the first man rebels against his father. His name is Adam." The entire audience goes crazy for the entrance of Adam, the first human to set foot on the earth. "This time we will win. There is no way for a skinny man like that to defeat a god." The referee would say, "What an unexpected twist. Who will be it? The god who faces the ancestry of the human race?" Suddenly, a melody is heard so fine and fragile. The most beautiful melody that any human could hear. It was Hermes playing the violin. Zeus would say, "Hello, how are they? It's me in person." Brunhilde would be confused and nervous. Humans would say, "That makes a decrepit old man in the ring." The old man begins to dance. The referee would say, "We have the only godfather of the cosmos, god of gods, he's the absolute god." The old man with a skinny and finished body transforms his body into pure muscle. That mighty god is Zeus. All humans were impressed. The Valkyrie and her sisters were worried because they said the god is the most powerful. Brunhilde would say, "Damn, this is definitely unexpected." Zeus would say, "Tell me, human, will you fight without any weapon?" Adam would say, "True." One of the 13 Valkyries entered the field, serving as a weapon for Adam. Zeus would say, "I see that this is the plan to defeat us." How smart they are. So the Valkyries give their soul to a weapon. The Valkyrie had become a fist of steel. All the gods sneer for the sudden weapon. The referee says, "Well, let's start the second round of Ragnarok." Adam representing the human race and Zeus representing the gods. Zeus would say, "This will be a fist fight. Haha, you chose an interesting weapon. It's a good weapon. Tell me what is yours, grandfather. I will not use any weapon, only my fists. I will listen as my fists break all your bones." Haha. "Are you sure? Don't regret it." Goku, impressed, says, "This fight is going to be interesting. Come on, Adam. You can. It's amazing." So he was the first man to touch the ground. Let's get started. The signal to start the fight sounds. Zeus begins with a quick blow. Adam dodges it effortlessly. Wow, but what do we see? A blow from Zeus that equals the speed of light and Adam effortlessly dodging it? Wow, that guy is awesome. Human, you are pretty good. I won't hold back. Here I go. Zeus again launches with a combo of blows. Meteor strike. Adam effortlessly dodges all blows again. Suddenly Zeus throws his divine axe, one of his strong attacks, a large powerful hook kick to the torso. Adam dodges the attack as if it's nothing. He just dodged one of Zeus's deadly blows. What agility of that boy! Zeus says, "I'm surprised, but nevertheless, you cannot escape my blows all the time. So you will not win." Adam responds, "You're right, Zeus." Surprising Adam copies his attacks, returning each blow with the difference of Zeus could not dodge a single blow. The meteor blow, even the divine axe, all those blows caused enormous damage to Zeus. I can't believe it. First Adam dodges the blows of Zeus and now uses those very same attacks against the great god Zeus. This is impressive. Humans ride with excitement. Very well. You are also. Keep it up. Sister, who is Adam? It is very strong. God created man in his own image and likeness. Genesis 1 verse 27. Brunhilde says, "So it is, other words, Adam is a copy of a god. Adam knows how to use the arrogance of the gods against them. That is the power of Adam." Gaul says, "I understand, sister. We can win." Zeus says, "I haven't had fun like that for many years." Zeus attempts another type of attack by moving his feet quickly. That way of moving your feet, maybe you want to finish it in one blow. Binds the god of war, Ares. Ares says, "We'll kill him with a kick." Zeus moves super fast throughout the battle arena. Adam analyzes it. Zeus says, "How about this?" Zeus kicks the Adam and dodges it again, using the technique against Zeus, kicking him in the face, causing Zeus to fall to the ground. Zeus was getting tired. Adam says, "I don't want to force myself to do this, but this is a fight. Sorry, Grandpa." Zeus says, "Ha ha ha. Did you call me grandfather?" Zeus transforms his body, becoming more muscular and bigger. Zeus says, "Let's see, Adam. I want you to try to copy this." This would be Zeus's most powerful attack. Zeus would say, "This attack is called the attack that governs in time, the fist that exceeded time." Zeus attacks Adam, but to his surprise, Adam has already copied the attack in a matter of milliseconds, and did it first by collapsing Zeus. Adam says, "Thank you very much, Grandpa, for that attack." Goku says, "Those guys are really amazing. I suddenly feel like fighting." Ares sees what happened. That's impossible. Hermes explains the situation. Hermes says, everything seems to indicate that Adam's seer power is superior to Zeus's. Everything indicates that when Zeus made his blow, Adam copied everything, dodging Zeus's blow and returning it to him with the same power, making him fall again. The humans say, Zeus is on the ground again. He's apparently finished. All the humans had already given the fight for win. Gaul says, sister, tell me, who is Adam? Brunhilde said, I already told you. His power is the wickedness of his heart. Evil in the heart? Brunhilde says that's right. In other words, the hatred of the gods. Adam's story. Long ago, Adam lived with all the natural comforts and animals of paradise, but that did not last long. Tells the story of Adam. Eve, his wife, was judged for eating the sacred fruit of good and evil. The snake says, I saw her eat of the sacred fruit. Eva says, it's not true. That's what he says. However, the truth is that the serpent set a trap for him. The serpent tried to possess Eve, but she defended herself. The serpent swore revenge, bit the forbidden fruit to blame Eve and thus be expelled from paradise. Eve was sentenced to the aid of paradise. Since the serpent was a god, the judge also, the probability that Eve was not guilty were few. Suddenly Adam entered the court of the gods with many apples of the scare tree, biting and spitting them out. Eve, if you leave, then I will go with you. Eve hugs Adam. The angry snake tried to attack Adam. The snake says, it doesn't speak happy endings for you. Adam says, you know I asked the birds what happened. They told me you made Eve cry. The snake says, that's right. So what of it? I'm going to kill them anyway. The serpent tries to cut Adam with his claws, but Adam copies his attack first, by attacking with the same attack against the snake. Then Adam and Eve left the heavens forever. That's why Adam hates the gods. I understand sister is very sad. When everything seems to be over and that Adam had won, Zeus stands again. Zeus says, I'm still here. Goku says that guy is resilient. Old man, don't push yourself too hard. Very well, very well. Your attack was surprising. But tell me something in your eyes and heart. I do not perceive hatred or revenge in your answer my question. Why were you fighting the gods? Everyone asked me the same question, and now so do you. Hate, revenge, there's no other reason to do what I do. I only protect my dependency. After those words of Adam, all prayed for Adam's victory. All were astonished at his words. Zeus says, not bad. You managed to captivate the whole audience. Not bad, I will admit it. Boy, you are strong. I thought I would defeat you this way, but I was wrong. I never thought to use this form again. Suddenly, Zeus contracts all his muscles. Zeus writhes in agony, crushing his muscles. Zeus becomes smaller but slightly muscular. That is his final form, the most powerful form of Zeus. Adam feels a dreadful omen and is on guard before seeing Zeus. It is an instinct in the face of danger. Goku says, whoa, got stronger. I wonder who will win. That god is at the disadvantage, yet with a form he surpasses Adam. Interesting, although I worry that Adam will die. Why do you say that, Goku? Goku replies, it's just my guess. Brunhilde says, whatever happens will happen and no one will be able to intervene, at least of all you, Goku. Otherwise the gods will kill you. Goku says, but I don't want to die, and I don't want that boy to die. Zeus says, very well, mortal. This is my final form. Everyone trembled before the instinct of danger, except Goku. Goku says, why do they tremble? Asked Goku as he puts a piece of meat in his mouth. And Shiva says, what? I never thought I would use that way. Zeus, I ask you a favor, do not break the heavens. Zeus launches himself with a deadly move by storing energy by compressing his fists, and then releasing that energy with a punch that he throws at maximum speed. Zeus says, the true right hand of God. Even his most powerful forehand. In its final form, Adam was able to copy it and use it against Zeus. Zeus says, the true left hand of God. Another blow that Adam can copy by his divine reflection in his technique up his sleeve. Adam copies with a combo of blows against Zeus. Brunhilde says, no, it's not possible. Goku says, so you figured it out. Goku, did you already know? Goku says, this will be a fight of resistance, or the old one resists more in receiving the blows of Adam, resists more copying the blows, or will be overloaded. His own divine power will be his downfall. Gaul says, what? No, I don't want Adam to die. Goku says, that's right, neither do I. Brunhilde says, no, I never thought that this old man would find a way to defeat the divine reflection by giving him more power to overload and exploit. That decrepit old man was cunning. Munin says, Zeus is going to win, it's only a matter of time. Loki says, do not be so happy. says the god Loki, god of deception entering with the other gods. Why do you say that, Loki? Loki says, look at Zeus, he's being very badly injured. Just look at his body. His muscles are about to explode, that fight will not last forever. The sons of Adam weep for him. Goku realizes that Zeus keeps attacking non-stop. Adam just copies the attack and uses it against Zeus. But Adam is getting more and more overloaded. All the whole audience as well as men and gods stood up for the great fight that would very soon come to an end. The bursts of blows are still continuing. Zeus manages to hit Adam. Oh no, Adam, don't die. This would be the last blow that would end Adam's life. The overload of divine technique was killing Adam. The last blow that Zeus would give Adam would end his life. But in the end, Goku appears in the arena, stopping the blow, saving Adam's life by very little. It's you. All the gods present get into the fight. Goku says that's right. My name is Goku, and you already have the fight won. I do not see why you have to kill him. He has a family, and I will not let you kill him. The gods get in to defend Zeus. Shiva says, you interfered in a Ragnarok fight. That is forbidden, and the payment will be your death. Goku says, I see them. They want to fight me. Goku says with a cold stare, causing the gods to panic and take a step back. This time he was something more different than their instinct of danger. It was the feeling that no god had ever felt. Goku wears his fighting pose. Goku says, I will fight with all of you if it's what you want. That you say, human. Do not underestimate us, you imbecile. Zeus says, quiet. Leave him alone. It's true, and I won't fight. I do not have to kill him. But tell me something, Goku. You're not human, are you? Tell me who you are. Goku says, I'm an earthling raised on Earth. My name is Goku. Zeus says, ha ha ha, don't lie to me. You're different. Zeus falls on his knees very tired. Goku says, it's better that they take him to the emergency room. I will do the same with Adam very soon. We will face Calm. I hope that they are very strong. Ares says, how dare you, human. Goku retires with Adam. Brunhilde says, Goku, why did you do that? You could have been dead. Goku says, calm down. They don't have the necessary power to defeat me, and I could not let him die. He has a soul inside that weapon, and also a family. Brunhilde and her sisters are sad at the same time very happy because Goku saved his sister and one of the 13 Valkyries. Goku says, very well. That was a good show. I'm hungry. I want to eat. Goku leaves the place. Brunhilde says, who is that guy? What is its power? Why did the gods recoil when they saw him? The gods were speaking. Ares says, did they notice? Hermes says, I saw it in his eyes. That guy is very powerful. Zeus says, it's not just any being. I'm beginning to believe that it would belong to a world very different from ours. However, I'm struck by its strength, and I also have something prepared in case something goes wrong. Shiva says, well, we're tied for a win. The next to fight will be Poseidon, right? Aphrodite says, this is Poseidon and he will fight the third combatant. Zeus says, very well. With Poseidon, we will have another battle assured. Ha ha ha. Kills me the desire to face that such Goku. Meanwhile, back in Universe 7 on planet Earth, Vegeta says, where the hell is Kakarot? The second fight has just finished. A loss and a victory by both sides. Goku says, Adam fought very well, and I could feel that this Zeus guy was really strong. And now, who will fight in the third round? The Valkyrie Brunhilde, with a disappointed voice, says, there will be no more fights. 2 of our best warriors left the Colosseum. It would be suicide to send any human to fight against a god as powerful as Poseidon. Goku says, then I will fight again. Brunhilde says, impossible. The fighters cannot be repeated. Goku says, it's a pity. So what will you do? A few hours ago in Universe 7, on planet Earth, Gohan shouts, Bulma, are you home? Bulma says, hello, Gohan. What's wrong? Did you need anything? Gohan says, no, thanks. I just came to see my father is here and has been missing for a few days. Vegeta says, Kakarot is not here. Gohan says, good afternoon, Mr. Vegeta. Where will my father meet? I've been looking for him for a few days ago. I wanted to train with him. Vegeta says, train? Apparently you still have Saiyan blood in your veins. Bulma says, Goku may be training with Whisk. Gohan says it's true. Bulma, thank you very much. Vegeta says, what? That insect wants to overtake me. Could you call Whisk? I want to go to where Kakarot is right now. Bulma says, it's okay, Vegeta. Gohan, get ready, you can go with the cheetah. Gohan says, yes, thanks a lot. Bulma calls Whisk, offering him lots of ramen. He obviously accepted by coming to the planet Earth and taking Gohan and Vegeta with him. Vegeta says, very well. Confesses Whisk, where is Kakarot, stupid? Gohan says, that's right. Mr. Whisk, I haven't found it for days. Whisk says, Goku came here saying that he insisted we make him fight with the strongest warriors because he was bored, typical of a Saiyan. Then I gave him the choice and I opened 3 portals to different dimensions in the whole multiverse. I really did not know if I would take him to a place with strong warriors or not, but he chose, and went to the dimension that is identical to planet Earth, where there are also deities apparently in that place. There are interesting beings. Gohan says, Mr. Whis, will you be able to send us to where my father is? Vegeta says, that's right, that stupid Kakarot wants to have fun alone. Whis says, of course, it's the least I can do, for all the delicious ramen Bulma gave me. Vegeta says, excellent. Whis opens the same portal through which Goku entered, and Whis says, very well, that is the portal, and by the way, let me tell you something important. How absent-minded I am. I forgot to give this information to Goku. Gohan says, what is it about, Mr. Whis? Whis says, the dimensions are usually somewhat complicated. When a being from another dimensional line enters another dimension, there is a possibility that its power decreases even up to 75%. But in this particular dimension, this does not seem to be the case, so be on the lookout for any side effects. Vegeta responds, thanks for the data. Gohan says, thank you very much, Mr. Whis. Vegeta and Gohan enters the dimension. These come to the world where Goku is, and Gohan says, I think he's here. I can feel that key, right, Mr. Vegeta? Vegeta says, no doubt. It's Kakarot. Let's go at once. Vegeta and Gohan approach where Goku's key is. These arrive at the Colosseum that would be Ragnarok. The guard says, who are you? Not welcome here, insignificant mortals. Vegeta says, what did you say, insect? Says Vegeta, frightening the guard, who is a god. Gohan explains, we're looking for my father. His name is Goku. I wonder if he's here. The guard says, what? Your father? You're the child of that so-called human? Gohan says, that's right. Would you take me to him, please? The guard says, he's inside. You can enter if you want. Gohan says, thanks a lot. Goku says, this key is from... Brunhilde says, what happened, Son Goku? Goku and Brunhilde would be talking about who would be next to fight. And Gohan would say, father, you here. Brunhilde would say, who are you? You can't get in here. Goku would say, Gohan, son, what are you doing here? Hoo-how. Vegeta, you're also here. Then those keys were his. But how did they know about me? Vegeta says, cursed Kakarot, you're left without saying anything to trade and you're alone. Goku says, ha ha ha, this is not what it looks like, Vegeta. Gohan says, father, I was looking for you, including Mother and Goten, and we had no word from you for days. Goku says, ha ha, I'm sorry, but they arrive at good time. Vegeta, Gohan, she's Brunhilde. Brunhilde, they are Vegeta and my son Gohan. They'll fight with us. Vegeta says, in no way, Kakarot, I flatly refuse. Goku says, come on, Vegeta, I promise you will have fun. Your son and his friend of his. Goku says, that's right, they will help it. Goku explains to Vegeta and Gohan about Ragnarok, and Goku says, basically our enemies are just gods, and I'm helping the Earthlings of this world to fight 13 Earthlings against 13 gods, and the team that gets the first 7 victories wins. If the gods of this world win, we will end human life, and if Earthlings win, they will continue to exist basically. Some wrestlers left the arena, but now as you're here, everything has been fixed. Vegeta says, I understand. These are how Earth martial art fights sound. Interesting to fight against gods of this world. Gohan says, I will also participate, Dad. Goku says, very well. Everything is solved. They will participate. Brunhilde says, what? But how do I know if they are strong? Goku says, quiet. They're very strong. By the way, how did they get here? Gohan says, Whis bought us, father. As I explained before, I was looking for you and I ended up visiting Mr. Vegeta. Then we went to Mr. Whis, and we ended up here. Goku says, I understand. And why were you looking for me, Gohan? Gohan says, my mother and Goten were worried about you since you disappeared out of nowhere, and also because I want to join the fights again. Goku says, wow, son, what good news. Vegeta says, Kakarot, tell me something. Hasn't your fighting power been reduced? Goku says, my power? Why did you ask me that, Vegeta? Vegeta says, Whis told us that there are dimensions like this that can shorten your power excessively. Goku says, well, I haven't felt anything weird at the moment. Vegeta says, I see. We'll have to keep our eyes open. Brunhilde says, dimensions? Power? What the hell is going on here? Who are you guys really? Can't you be human? Brunhilde would be very confused, and somewhat worried. Vegeta would say, me and Kakarot are pure-blood Saiyans, and the boy is the son of Kakarot. He's half-human, and also has Saiyan warrior blood. And in summary, we are Saiyans with warrior blood running through our veins. We are not from here, and not from the parts of your deities. You have to understand. We are a totally different dimension to this. Brunhilde is surprised and says, Saiyan race? I've never heard that breed in my entire life. Vegeta says, well, that does not matter, is something that's weak beings like you could not understand. No answer my question. Are strong those gods that must be faced? Goku says, it's really not like fighting with Mr. Beerus, but if there are some who match the power of a Super Saiyan. Vegeta says, what a big disappointment then. It's not worth transforming, as it would be a quick fight. Goku says that's true, but don't trust yourself. There's something among them all that has me a little worried, is someone who's really powerful. Brunhilde says, excuse my ignorance in view that you are only helping me. I thank you very much. I do not understand anything about you, but it's obvious that I need your help to win these fights. But the next god to fight is Poseidon, one of the most powerful gods. Goku says, then who among you will fight? Vegeta says, Kakarot, I imagine that you've already participated in this tournament. Goku says, I fought in the first round, so I can't participate anymore at the moment. Vegeta says, Kakarot, if these gods are a waste of time, I will change sides to face you. Goku says, believe me, very soon we will meet someone really strong. Vegeta says, interesting, then I'll fight first. Do you agree, Gohan? Gohan says, yes, Mr. Vegeta. Brunhilde would be surprised at how the Saiyan would be so carefree, when the next god to fight is supposed to be a terrifying beast. Everything was already decided. Vegeta would be the one who fought against the great god Poseidon. The third fight would start in Ragnarok. In Ragnarok, it dominates a great ocean on the edges of the sand, and the referee would say, welcome to this third meeting, the final battle of God and man. On both sides, they have a victory and a defeat. Next, after the great fight of the great powerful god Zeus, the next warrior who will fight for the gods comes here. The sea begins to behave strangely, because the emperor of the seas approaches the sea, divided, giving way to the warrior. All the gods in the stands fear of his fury. The most feared god of all, one of the most powerful gods of all, the second son, and his name is Poseidon. All the gods fear his great power. The referee says, and on the other hand, the greatest idiot who will face this god of the seas, and he is said to be the friend of the warrior who defeated the god Thor himself. His name is Vegeta. Vegeta enters the sand and says, insect, did you just call me an idiot? Perhaps you want me to annihilate you, damned lizard. The referee would be nervous about Vegeta's presence. Vegeta would say, we will settle this matter later. So he's my opponent. All the gods are surprised. Aphrodite says, who is he? Is he a friend of you who defeated Thor? Shiva says, interesting. Let's see how strong it is. The referee says the time has come. The third battle representing the gods. The great god Poseidon, and on the other hand representing humans, the great Vegeta. Vegeta stares at Poseidon. Vegeta angrily says, you do not know or have the power or courage to look at me in the face. You are afraid of me or what? Poseidon says, fear of a human scum. They are but petty losers. Vegeta says, what did you say? Poseidon says, won't you use a weapon with the soul of those Valkyries? Vegeta says, I don't need a weapon to defeat an insect like you. These two do not even flinch, do not make a single movement, causing a great tension in the air. The sound of the trumpet is heard again for the third time. The third fight begins. Gaul says nervously, sister, Poseidon is the most feared god of the 12 gods of Olympus. Brunhilde says, the 12 gods, you say? Dear little sister, I will take this opportunity to tell you one thing. And Gaul says, what is it about? Brunhilde replies, long ago there were 13 gods on Olympus, just as we, the 13 Valkyries. Gaul says, 13 gods? What do you mean? But one of those 13 gods was killed by none other than Poseidon. Gaul would be surprised and say, a god who killed another god. I never knew about that. And who was that god? Brunhilde says the name of the god was Adamas, the older brother of Zeus and Poseidon, the fearsome Adamas. Long ago, Adamas was very envious of Zeus because Zeus was designated as the main god and organized a rebellion. He freed the Titans and giants who were imprisoned in the underworld, even joining them by one of the cruelest monsters in hell. And with that, he set his plan in motion. Adamas talked to his little brother Poseidon. Adamas said, Poseidon, the time has come. The gods of the heavens and the 48 gods of the heavens will decide to follow me, and not only that, some of the 13 gods of Olympus like Hermes have also decided to join me. You are the only one missing. If you decide to join me, we can cut off the head of Zeus. Listen to me, I'm your big brother. Obviously you're going to help me, Poseidon, or not. Poseidon says, I can't believe you're my brother. You're pathetic. Adamas is surprised by what Poseidon says and says angrily, excuse me, what did you say? Poseidon never looked into his brother's eyes. Adamas said, "You don't respect me. Look me in the eye. I'm your big brother. You should respect me." Poseidon rises from his seat and says, "The gods do not unite, the gods do not conspire, the gods do not trust others. This is how a god should be. We are perfect. But you have already broken each of those rules." Adamas says, "Damn, maybe you make fun of me." Adamas tries to attack Poseidon. Adamas remembers his best moments with Poseidon when they were children. "It has always been the same with you. You've always been like this since you were born. You've always considered yourself superior to me." Poseidon looks into his brother's eyes for the first time, pierces his trident into the abdomen of his older brother, the god Adamas, throwing in like garbage on the ground, making his life snuffed out forever. Brunhilde says, "Therefore, Poseidon provoked fear among all the gods. Nobody talked about it because they're all afraid of him." Vegeta says, "Very well. If you don't plan to attack first, I'll do it." Vegeta attacks. Poseidon attacks with his trident. Vegeta was able to dodge the attack. The gods in the stands are impressed to see that the first being who was able to dodge an attack by Poseidon. The referee says, "Impressive. The great Vegeta was able to dodge Poseidon's attack with ease." Vegeta says, "Insect, do not underestimate me." Vegeta punches Poseidon's trident by pushing him back. All the humans are impressed. Poseidon looks into Vegeta's eyes and Vegeta says, "So you finally think about fighting seriously. If there is anything in which Poseidon and Vegeta resemble, it would definitely be their great pride as warriors." Vegeta attacks Poseidon with a great flurry of punches and kicks, but he defends himself with his great trident. Ares trembles, saying, "How is that a human? And he could give so much trouble to a god like Poseidon." Poseidon quickly counters against Vegeta. He dodges all its blows, but each time Poseidon moves faster, like cutting a little hair of Vegeta, making him retreat. Humans and gods are very excited about the result, and Vegeta says, "Don't underestimate me, insect." While Vegeta speaks, Poseidon attacks Vegeta, hitting him with his trident and hurting him a little. Poseidon with his trident makes a dome of blows towards Vegeta, trying to cut him. He dodges all his attacks, but Poseidon persists again and again. Vegeta smiles and says, "Is that all you have? You are just an insect." And he transforms into Super Saiyan, causing Poseidon to be pushed aside by the pressure of transformation. Poseidon says, "It's the same thing that the other supposed human used against Thor. Interesting. Let's see what you can do now." Vegeta disappears and appears right next to Poseidon. "You're too late to be so conceited. Tell me, Poseidon, how does it feel to be a god?" Poseidon says, "A god? A perfect god, who does not need anyone to become strong. That's a god. He's perfect just as he is." Vegeta says, "You are pathetic, like a god. What a sad and miserable life you have." Poseidon says, "What will a mortal like you know?" Vegeta says, "At first, I was just as stupid as you, until I read Kakarot, that insect, maybe away from Goku. I thought I didn't need anyone to be strong. I thought nobody could be against me. My great pride made me believe that, but it is not so. I met people that I now protect with my life, and that is what makes me stronger and stronger." Vegeta for a brief moment makes Poseidon relive memories of his older brother when he killed himself. Vegeta says, "That's why I say that your life as a god is insignificant. You prefer to be alone and be feared. That is your weakness. So you will lose this battle against me, the great Vegeta." Ares says, "Well, what's going on? That guy anticipates all of Poseidon's blows. I couldn't also hurt him, and also transform like that guy did. Beast subjects cannot be human." Poseidon still does not surrender. This continues to attack. Poseidon hits Vegeta with his trident in the abdomen, but could not get through Vegeta's body, because it's now as hard as any divine weapon. Vegeta says, "Understand now, you have no chance." He smiles. "I will show you something, so that you can understand the difference between me and you." Vegeta transforms into Super Saiyan 2. Zeus, Aphrodite, Shiva, Ares, Hermes, Odin, Loki, and Poseidon himself at that very moment tremble at the enormous pressure of Vegeta's power, as did the gods and humans in the stands. Shiva says, "What's wrong? Why am I shaking?" Zeus says, "What an exciting match." Vegeta says, "Kakarot, because we do not show these attempts of gods what a real battle is. Goku says, Vegeta, remember that the lives of humans are in danger, so end the battle at once. Vegeta says, what a bummer. Very well. God Poseidon, I will give you one last gift. I will show you the taste of defeat. Vegeta creates a huge ball of energy. Poseidon says, you won't beat the damn human. That's impossible. Vegeta launches the attack. Now, Poseidon was completely destroyed. The great attack caused him to lose his arms. However, Poseidon continued to fight even without hands, using his teeth to grab the trident. Vegeta says, vermin, I don't want to kill you. Surrender once and for all. Poseidon pays no attention. Vegeta punches the already wounded Poseidon in the face, knocking him out. Knocking him out of action, Vegeta says, I must admit that you are very troublesome as a guy. This defeat will make you stronger. The referee says, what an unpredictable result against humans. They managed to win this fight. Brunhilde would have no words for what she had just seen. The gods remained in silence that seemed eternal. The humans in the stand shout with emotion the name Vegeta. Vegeta says, what a scandal. Thank you. Take it to the emergency room, if you don't want to die. Gaul and Brunhilde would be very happy for the victory. Goku would say, Vegeta, you don't think you overdid it a bit? It was that, or kill that guy, although he is not at our height. It's an incredible guy, but not of those who give up by just losing an arm. Goku says, I guess this time it's okay. It was a good fight. Vegeta, but didn't you say you wouldn't transform him? Vegeta said that guy was strong for a moment. He was able to corner me. Goku says, haha, I told you that if they are strong. Vegeta says, it's no big deal either. Also, I do not feel I've lost my power. I think what Whis said does not apply to this world, but I will keep an eye on it. Then I'll continue in the next fight. Goku says, that's right. Son, be very lucky. Vegeta would be a little thoughtful, and Goku would ask Vegeta what was happening to him. Vegeta says, Kakarot, the moment I fought with that god, I had a hunch, a feeling, a very powerful ki as much as that of Lord Beerus himself, but it could only be my imagination. Goku says, you're wrong, Vegeta. As I told you before, I also felt that ki. It's as if I was asleep, but about to wake up. Vegeta says, I see. Then it was not my imagination. We have to be attentive. Son, be very careful of your next confrontation. We have 2 victories, and at this rate the humans will win. Gohan replies, very well. Meanwhile, on the planet of Beerus. Beerus sneezes. Apparently someone is talking about me. Whis asks nervously, Mr. Beerus, you've already woken up? Beerus says, don't lay it down with me. Where is it? Whis says, where is what? What do you mean, sir? Beerus says, the only thing that can wake me up from my nap is the delicious aroma of food, and you've hidden something special. Give it to me. Whis says, okay. This is the last one, Beerus. Beerus replies, Whis, how could you hide something like this from me, especially when it comes to ramen? Beerus would remain thoughtful. Something happened, Mr. Beerus? Beerus would say, where is Goku and Vegeta? They usually bring this kind of thing when they need our help. Whis would explain everything to Beerus, and Beerus would say, so you bought a little ramen and ate it by yourself. Whis says apparently he only listened to the ramen part. I think my body needs to stretch a little. It's been a long time since I fought using more than half my power. Besides, Goku and Vegeta had become a little stronger. It would be interesting to try how far they would go. Meanwhile, at the gathering of the gods, Zeus says Poseidon was also defeated. These beings are incredibly powerful. We have no chance. Shiva says, old god, do you plan on surrendering against humans? Zeus says, of course, I won't continue with the fights, but if I see that we will lose one more time against these guys, then I would hesitate to wake up my ultimate weapon. All the gods would begin to worry and be frightened. Goku would say, very well then, Brunhilde, who will face my son? Brunhilde views the data shows that the next god to fight, in the 4th fight, will be the god Hercules himself. 2 warriors who aspire to peace and justice are about to face each other.